Girl, we got some tea?
With the honey and the sugar.
Nah, we gonna need some wine for this one.
Well,
wine me, please.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Wine Me Please podcast. It's your girl, Dominique.
Hey, and it's Candace.
So today we have a intense full-bodied red wine, okay? It was made in Mendoza, Argentina, so we're a little fancy. We take you a little coastal, okay? It is best served room temperature. It was going to be so interesting because I like my wines very chilled, but if this is being recommended room temperature, then we're going to go for it. It pairs well with great meats, hearty stews and the soup, lamb dishes, and semi-hard cheese. So speaking of semi-hard cheese, we are going to have a Gouda red pepper semi-hard cheese on a nice rosemary cracker with summer sausage. I have turkey, Miss Tiera has turkey, and Candace got pork.
I'm trying to try my life. You know, I gotta be the experiment just for y'all. I do it for y'all. I do it for the people. I do it for the people.
We gotta make sure that we are inclusive of all meat eaters. Okay?
Yes.
So let's go ahead and take a sip of this and a bite of this and see how this goes.
I poured y'all heavy. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm sure I'm gonna drink it. Okay.
All right, let's give it a swirl.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wine me, please. Clink. It's a little dry for me.
I was gonna say it's a dry one. How do you like
I
it?
like it.
You do?
I do like dry wine.
See, this is like a before bedtime type of wine for
Right.
me. Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, it's good. I don't really see. I feel like I would drink this cold though. I don't really see what the room temperature
cold.
does for it. Mm-hmm. But it's not bad. It's not dry. There's a pinch of sweet, maybe like a tablespoon of honey.
I can taste some like dark chocolate at the end type of thing.
Yeah.
Like a raspberry dark chocolate type of.
That's good. It has a little tang.
It's nice. It's nice.
I be making up my own little.
And what it does say, it has a soft texture, which I can kind of tell because most dry wines taste like cotton.
Yes.
This
and you like
is a little bit of. You need something after, right? Like, give me some cheese,
water,
give me some something.
Yeah.
This is good. I like this. I can sip on this. Okay, and I'm excited to try this red pepper Gouda because I love a red pepper and I love a Gouda.
All right.
I'm just gonna take a little bite. Sorry if y'all hear it's crunching. It's a hard cracker.
Crunch.
Gouda and red pepper. Gouda red pepper.
Didn't really give me Gouda, but it's good.
Yeah, I would say that too because Gouda is more smoky. Mm-hmm. This isn't as smoky, but it's still good. I could dig it.
I do this again. And this is my friend Tiera. I invited her here to talk about the relationships and red flags. We have a similar background, so I wanted to go ahead and introduce our guest here, Tiera.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, first and foremost. I am Tiera. I am a licensed social worker, working on getting my LSW in the near future, long time past due.
Me too,
and
girl.
Thank y'all for having me. Yeah.
So excited. So, what were we talking about? Red flags?
Yes. We were talking about the safety aspect of the red flags of dating. Us being women in our 30s. I know there's all these debates and arguments about relationships and dating and what that looks like in the role aspect of it. But I think we forget about the nuances of the safety aspect of women and some of those conversations of why certain boundaries and certain expectations are put in place by certain women, that tend to instill them. And so I wanted to explore those and talk about those a little bit more because we've had those conversations in private because we're newly trying to get back out there. And it's just, sometimes it can be a little bit scary trying to get back out there.
It is. Just on a safety note, like just making sure getting in a taxi, for example, making sure like your friends or relatives know the taxi number.
Sharing your location with your
sharing your
friends.
location. Yeah. Even just making sure that your first time going over your partner's, the potential partner's place, just making sure that you are giving them the address, you know, giving relatives and close friends, whomever, the address to the location, things like that. And like you said, best share the location.
Yeah. And that's why some of those conversations where it's like, oh, well, you know, people argue about where the first date is, how much to spend is neither here nor there. But, you know, just going over to kick it at somebody's house, they think like, oh, that's a conversation of, oh, she's being bougie or expecting too much or she's not down to earth or whatever the case is. When it's like, no, I have to think about my safety.
Yeah,
I don't know your living situation. I don't know you from paint, you know, can of paint. So to think that expectation and just to be offended by having that expectation is the audacious part for me. Is just like having the audacity to be offended that women have those expectations.
That's a red flag within itself.
That just kind of reminded me, this may be a weird analogy. I'm always having these weird analogies, but if you think about, I may say the term wrong. I don't know if it's football or basketball, but either way, what is it called for when the NFL? Is it playoffs for NFL too when they go to the finals? Okay, so when you have those two teams, right? Neither one of them play on their home turf because one home turf has this advantage. You get what I'm saying? So there's a reason why they go to a common ground where neither one of us are familiar with this field. We're gonna play on unfamiliar territory. So if I'm coming to your house, exactly, you got me coming to your house, you have an advantage over me at that very moment. I don't know where your knife is. I don't know where your gun is.
And that's real.
I don't know how your door's locked. You know, anything could happen. So we need to meet at a mutual area where we both are safe, where there are other people. I was talking to one of my friends because she's in a dating field. I was like, just do day dates. If they have an issue with a day date, then that's a problem. If you got an issue with saying, oh, you know, our friends meet up, let's go get breakfast, let's go get coffee, let's go to lunch, you know, something like that, and you want to go straight to nightcaps, that's a red flag. Like, what are you trying to hide? You know, at nighttime you can really glamorize people. You know, you can put on a great facade. You can't put on all that facade when the lights in the sun and everything is shining. Okay, so it's kind of like those are also red flags. Like, you know, what's really your intentions, dude? Come on now. Your house. Air mattress.
It used to be romantic. The thought of like getting picked up in front of your house and things like that used to seem romantic. Now it's like, I don't even want to give you my address for the first couple of days. It's like, no, I'll meet you there. And that part is disheartening, but it's like at this point you don't want people to know where you live because they don't have boundaries. When it's over and you got stuff showing up at your door. It's like, no, that part. It's just we've lost the romance because it's almost a little bit like terrifying that people just lack boundaries and just respect of your
lost the romance because you've gained more safety awareness. You know, it's unfortunate. Just like just mentioning simple introductions. Like, I feel obligated to give my number out when people, even though I'm a married woman, obligated to give my number out when a man asks because you approach me aggressive, you know, so then it's like,
and I don't know what your response is
exactly gonna be. If I say no, or if I say, oh, I'm okay, or even if you're like, oh no, I'm married, so you can't have friends. No, I don't want a friend. I've got a friend in Jesus.
Right?
Do you? Right? I would start quoting y'all scriptures if you keep playing with me, but no, seriously, like it can be quite terrifying. I could imagine that it's quite terrifying. I haven't been dating in almost 13 years, but I can imagine.
God bless you.
It's a lot. It's a lot out here in these streets. You know?
These streets is ghetto.
What they say, it's like peeing and all that in the pool.
Right.
I hate to
don't piss and call it rain. Piss on me and call it rain.
I hate to say that, but it's a lot going on out here in the dating world. So the level of safety has really arisen for so many different reasons. You have like a lot of partner crime and killing, all those things.
Yes.
So you gotta, and those things like, and I hate that, but people often have the red flags like, I don't want to.
You usually have something in your gut, a little intuition up front,
right,
where you question yourself. And I think again, a lot of that we confuse some of those butterflies with like red flags, where it's just like, oh no, you're just a little excited because you got some attention, versus no, this is a good feeling.
Right.
Some of the times it's not really a good feeling, but you want to romanticize people, and you just kind of let those little nuggets kind of slip by.
Right. And not to say like what has happened with individuals they could have prevented because, not
It's
saying
not victim
nothing-
blaming
right.
at
No,
all. At all.
absolutely not.
At all.
But like what I want to say separate from that is just noticing the behaviors in people.
Yeah.
Like, for example, destroying property. Eventually that turns into physical abuse. So,
Or isolation.
Right, and making the individual isolate themselves from friends, relatives, and things like that.
I just feel like I'm gonna die without you.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody said the biggest.
Manipulation.
Yes, the biggest. Somebody told me the biggest thing to know about your partner, like if they're good for you, is how do they make your nervous system feel?
Yeah.
If you're on edge, like if you're having a conflict or issue, are they like one of those people that's like sending thousands of text messages or blowing your phone up and like
Right.
they can't seem to regulate themselves and now they're
Right.
pulling you into an intense emotion? Like those are the types of things that people think or, tend to romanticize and don't necessarily realize like those are red flags.
Yeah.
Those are things that aren't healthy.
This isn't even to be like a spoiler alert or anything, but we kind of mentioned it earlier about Meg Thee Stallion's documentary. But one thing that when they was talking about the Tory Lanez issue, so of course everybody know that Tory Lanez was sentenced and found guilty of shooting her. But there's a part of her documentary where she was crying and she just kept saying, "What did I miss? What did I not see? What didn't I see? What didn't I notice? How didn't I know that he had the ability to shoot me? Like, what was I missing?" And it just, kind of goes to show that, like, there can be great facades on
Absolutely.
with people that you just
Absolutely.
don't see. Or, like you said before, sometimes you do put on those blinders and because you want the relationship. Honestly, in her case, I think that the death of her mom and not having family around her, that trauma did cause her to attach to people to make her feel that and want to feel like she was around people and feel, sometimes when you are without a great support system, you will attach yourself, not even recognize that this isn't support. It just feels like it because you don't feel alone.
Absolutely.
And I think that that happens to a lot of us. It's just we end up, I don't want to say we get ourselves into situations, but we find ourselves in situations out of not noticing red flags because of the fear of being alone.
It's the vulnerability. One part that she
Exactly.
said was he got me when I was drunk out of my mind. People who prey on women, and I'm not trying to like make it animalistic in a sense.
Because women prey on men too.
Yes, exactly. That aspect of like knowing when someone is vulnerable and knowing when they're not in a good space. The foresight that we lack in that time is that someone that cares about you is not going to further feed into that negativity. And we don't have the insight to see it in a moment while you're suffering. You can look back and say, okay, these people aren't healthy for me. But when you're in it, it's hard to see those flags. But I think that's a big indicator is like, who's contributing to further suffering.
Right.
But I'm sorry, were you about to say something?
No, I was just going to say, just even taking, like my mom used to always say, like, take a step outside the box, you know? And then sometimes it's hard to see in those situations, like when you're in it, like Candace said. So I think just removing yourself from the situation, being able to take like a bird's eye view of what's really happening. And sometimes you aren't able to see that because of those different attachment styles that sometimes we do develop, just depending on upbringing, trauma, experiences. We fall into certain attachment styles, it kind of veers away from that secure attachment,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Agree. Oh, no, I was going to say something else that was mentioned, and not saying that this is his case, but predators, I'm just going to say predators, can find a way to attach to you to make you feel safe. And in his case, he attached on the fact that both of their moms passed. So she said, she was like, we bonded immediately once he said that his mom had passed. So she was like, and I just immediately attached to him after that. So I think that when you're missing that, you just let your guard down. And unfortunately, in that cases, you don't realize that you become a victim. And I think that's why it is so hard for a lot of women to date. In fear of letting their guard down, having their guard up. I don't want to be a victim again. I don't want to be hurt again. I couldn't imagine. So I know it ain't easy in these streets, but like you said, it's piss in a dating pool. But can you filter it? Is it a water filtration system?
I don't know.
Out
If
there.
there is, somebody send us the app, okay? Because I think it's the app. It's a system. It's a code. It's a something.
Right.
It's a promo code we missing.
The promo code. Did she buy it from the TikTok
I
shop?
know. You got right.
I don't know. First dibs.
I don't know. Yes.
Yeah,
But
that's a lot.
what are some more red flags that you considered or experienced when you've considered getting back out there?
I'm gonna ask you the same. It's a lot for me.
I think also I think one thing, and again, I think we get a bad rap on is being established Black women at a certain level of your life and the limitation on who you're dating. Mm-hmm. And there is fear of being taken advantage of in financial ways and things like that too, that are starting to come up more. I'm you know what I mean? And so that being considered as well. Mm-hmm. We are very emotional creatures, so we want to nurture and give and you know what I mean? And a lot of women are getting taken advantage of in that way as well.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I think that I'm an advocate. Like in my mind, I be like responding as like a single woman because I be fighting for y'all. Okay,
somebody got to.
Because I get so frustrated when men think about financial stability as a red flag for coming from a woman. Mm-hmm. Okay, because financial stability means more than just I want you to buy me a gift. Mm-hmm. No, because unfortunately, and to certain, I can carry a bag and I can carry the weight, But at the same time, you want me to carry the bag, carry the weight. Usually, being nurtured as women, we're also carrying their emotional load because they're not emotionally intelligent either. Mm-hmm. So you're carrying the emotional load. You want me to carry the financial load. Sometimes a man being financially stable provides security amongst so many ways. Because I can sit back and be feminine. Mm-hmm. I can sit back and be in that nurturing energy, and I can do the rest. I can't. Okay, yeah. Do I want you to pay bills? Of course I want you to pay bills. You want me to be able to come home and cook and clean and do all this and that and the third. Or even if it's 50-50, okay. But we got to be 50-50 in every area. If we're going to be 50-50 in finances, we got to be 50-50 in emotional loads. We got to be 50-50 in physical loads. We got to be 50-50 in childcare, 50-50 in homework. We got to be 50-50 in 50-50 in cooking, 50-50 in cleaning. But we 50-50 be 50-50 all the way around. Because if we only 50-50 financially, then I'm 100% every other area. And you wonder why you can't clap cheeks at night. So in that case, if you want me to exude in every area, you have to provide some type of stability. To me, some type of financial stability, because I don't have to go and work. It's like, and even if I do go work and everything, at least I know I can come home and know everything else is taken care of, and I can take care of my home. But whenever a woman talks about, finances, you're materialistic. You're materialistic. And it's like, no. Finances is also, like, in a sense, physical security, mental security. It's more than just, I'm not asking for a bag.
At all.
I'm not asking for diamonds. I'm not asking for a Lamborghini car.
I want to know if one of us lose our job, we not on the curb next week.
We not on the curb next week. Exactly. Yeah. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not asking for above and beyond things. I'm asking for, you want me to be in my role, and I want you to be in yours. Period.
Simple, right?
It's really simple.
I think
it could all be so simple.
Okay.
But we can sing it, but you're
But I think just different red flags and different levels. Like, I mean, red flag shows up in different levels, more so. And what I mean by that is, like, in the beginning of the relationship, they are smothering you.
Love bombing.
Calling you. And just stalking you. I had a guy who... Not the evil laugh.
Right. You just gotta do like this.
I had a guy, near the beginning of our relationship, he pulled up to my house and he was looking for me. Like, first he came to my home unannounced.
Ooh. Don't do that.
And this is like within the first like few months. So at this point, like he does know my address. But he comes into my house unannounced. I wasn't there. Well, No, I was there. I was looking at him through my security camera, and he was looking in my garage to see if my car was there and all type of stuff. So I don't like that. So I think that's a red flag. Just love bombing, where you like smothering like off the back, like too quick.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, later on in the relationship and things like that, that's okay. But early on, no, I don't like that.
And that's a way to show interest and show that you care without being, cause I could imagine some men, I'm gonna try and emphasize some because I know it's not all men. Some men taking what you just said and be like, you can't make women happy. They don't want you to check on you. They don't want you to call you. They don't want you. And it's like, no, it's not that. But there are, like you said, there are also levels. You can't just pop up at my house. You can just send a text message. You can just say, hey, I'm just thinking about you. Just making sure you're okay.
I'm in your area. Are you home?
I mean, exactly, without just popping up. You know, don't take you blurring boundaries and me setting boundaries to me saying that I don't want you to care or have protection.
Right, exactly.
Because that's not what I'm doing. But that's how some
being protective versus being possessive.
That's how academics would switch that.
Right. And I don't mind you being protective, but being possessive or controlling is a
that
whole
part.
different thing.
Protective
I don't
versus
like
possessive.
that, and that's what I mean. Like the controlling aspect, I think those are red flags.
I don't know if you mind discussing this aspect too, but another layer, at least a difference that we have with dating too, is like you being a parent, and that being another layer that you have to consider with dating as well, when it comes to safety and protecting not just you but your family.
Yes, like I will Google. See, people don't like when I say this. I will Google a guy. Like I will Google.
Oh yeah, I used to do background checks.
But I will let you know.
Put their first last name and birthday to the IDOC.
Yes, I used to do a background check. Don't let me find out the last four social.
I know, like this one guy who, okay, I let you know up front.
Yeah.
Like that, I will Google you. I will like search you. I'm just letting you know because I'm inviting you into my home.
Exactly.
Where my children stay. And, you know, not only, you know, my children, myself too. But yeah, like I will Google you. So this guy, he got upset when I Google him. Like I told you.
Probably found something.
Right, exactly. But I told you up front. Like what you thought was playing. So, and the things that I found about him, I know why.
Yeah,
you were upset. You know,
and that's a red flag.
Yeah,
the defensiveness
that's a red flag.
is such a huge red flag.
Yeah,
and it makes you question your judgment and when trust you. Like, am I being crazy? We're like, no. If it's not an issue, they're gonna be reassuring about it.
And I want you to Google me too.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
okay with that. Like,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I Google myself sometimes.
Let me see what comes up.
Exactly. Is this a lie? Did somebody steal my social security? I need to figure out. No, seriously. And then I'd be like, shoot, he should have been Googling himself. He should know what's popular. That way you know what's already addressed to me on our first date, so I won't be surprised.
Exactly.
Don't let me be surprised.
Don't let me be surprised.
That's the thing. Not saying a surprise date. Don't let me be surprised about who you are as a person.
Exactly.
And so, because that's another red flag. Oh, I didn't think it was that important. Well, now we're single.
Yeah.
So,
bring it up next time.
Yeah, exactly. I think something that's also like a red flag if I were dating is like their isolation from their family.
Yes.
Now, sometimes it could just be that you got a trash family. I understand that. And sometimes you could be the trash in the family.
Yes.
And so, because for me, I'm the person where make sure I ain't covering my mic. I'm the person where I'd be like, so everybody you talk to, you get into it with, is always other people.
Right.
Is it always the other person?
Yes.
So you ain't got no friends.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
that I always like, because now I'm wondering, what about you are you keeping me from that you're afraid other people know? So I always want to know, like, what's your family relationship like? What do you like with your friends? Like, what type of friend do you think you are? Like, what type of son?
You got to start paying
parent?
attention to friend groups too.
Exactly. Because
Are any of your friends married?
right? Yeah, that part too. And then some of them are friend groups trauma bond. So y'all not holding each other accountable because all y'all doing the same stuff.
At all, exactly.
All y'all dogs.
And that's why you got to look around the whole friend group.
Exactly.
Oh, all y'all still playing the field. Okay, what makes you different?
What makes you different?
Who's gonna talk you out of some shit when it go down?
Exactly. Who holds you accountable? Exactly. So I think that's really big for me in terms of like, just what's your family like? What's your friend group like? What is your system? Like, because I ain't gonna say support system, because your system may not be supportive, you just don't know it. But the system that you're around, what is that like?
Do you think relationships with their mother are a big deal?
And how you treat your mother.
Yeah.
Like, I know
And how your mama treat you.
Right.
Yeah.
I know people go through things like with their parents and things like that, but I do consider a red flag like how you treat your mom.
How you
You
talk
know,
about
I think our parents do the best that they can.
Yeah.
You know, I know every situation is different. I can't speak for everyone's situation, but I can say that's what stands out to me, like how a partner treats like their mother. Because oftentimes, in my own experience, when I've seen them speak to their mother poorly, like they've spoken to me poorly eventually, you know, or treated me poorly. So, yeah.
No, I think that's important, definitely. And then even sometimes, like, what's your parents in general, too, because sometimes the way you present yourself as a man is reflective to the man that was in your life.
Right. Yeah.
So if you had a father figure, if even if you didn't have a parent, a father there, did you have a father figure present? You know, how do you operate? But even just thinking about red flags in terms of like how moms treat young men. I have a baby boy, and I love my baby. He's only 5 months, but I have to remind myself that I'm raising somebody's husband.
Yes.
Like I don't want to raise another woman's child.
Yes.
I need to raise her husband. So I have to have clear boundaries even with my son so that he won't be hyper dependent on me, that it does interfere with his next relationship. Because that can be a red flag. Is you your mama's husband?
Right. Right. Exactly.
Your mama depends on you for everything. You know you're not driving 15 miles to change a light bulb.
Yes.
Like, so that can even be like red flags. How involved, what are healthy boundaries in relationships for you?
Yeah.
Family wise and personal wise.
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
Oh.
I think that's why, and unfortunately, I think that's why a lot of men who did grow up without seeing a man love a woman properly, why we struggle so much with knowing about emotional intelligence, having romance present in our relationships, having that nurturing part of the relationship where they know how to meet your needs in that way, in that emotional aspect. Unfortunately, I think it's a part of just not seeing their mom see that, to be honest. I know people going to probably blast me for it, but a lot of people haven't seen their mothers love correctly, so they don't know how to love correctly.
Exactly. This ain't even to be shady for nobody, like this. But this is about to sound shady, but it's not gonna be shady. It's gonna be shady.
Now some shade.
But it's so many men that be like, "You're not wife material" when you got your mama last name. So what are you trying to say about me that you're not gonna say about your mama?
Yeah.
So don't come to me with that.
Yeah.
Don't come because as far as I'm concerned, you wasn't if I'm not wife material, then you wasn't raised around wife material to sit up there and even speak on it. So shut up.
And what I be seeing in my therapy chair is two things: is either the mama stopped dating completely and didn't have a life outside of that son and babied that son, and that was all he know, or mama probably brought reckless people around him and again saw very negative,
various things,
some negative things about a woman being treated correctly. So it's double edged. Now I feel like, because I'm not going to speak on all men, I think the ones that are good are already wrapped up, married. They already. So this isn't that conversation for them. So again, I don't want that to be generalized, but the ones that are left, this is what this conversation is about. Okay,
Right.
Out of the ones that are already married and the ones that are left, we have to muddle through the trauma.
Yeah, right. So, because I was about to ask you both a question. So, when it comes to dating and red flags, how do you determine what's a red flag? Do you just cut a person off versus, okay, this is a red flag due to a lack of knowledge, and I can work with you on this red flag versus I'm just not even, this red flag ain't even worth discussing. I'm cutting you off completely. Because some things I feel like can be presented in red flags for men and women just due to lack of experience, lack of knowledge, what they grew up in, how their parents were raised. You know, some stuff is almost uncontrollable because of the person in that environment. So what are you willing to work through with a red flag to change, or what stuff is just like absolutely not?
Action. Like, if you are willing to acknowledge and take accountability that you do have like growth or are needing growth in those areas, like, let's work on improving those areas, you know. So if you're willing to improve on it and take accountability, like, okay, this is my flaw, like, I'm okay with that. But if it's something like, okay, you know, this is an issue, or we see that this is an issue, and you're not taking accountability for those things and not willing to move forward, like all of those, or like moving forward as an improve on those things, like, no, I'm okay. Like, it's a wrap.
I would piggyback off of that. It's how do you respond to me expressing the concern? The moment I bring it up to you, if it's like, why is this an issue?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to go back and forth about it. Like, the defensiveness on how you address my concern is automatically a red flag.
Yeah.
If you can just be like, okay, I don't see your point of view in that way, but I understand where you're coming from. I'll try to work on that. I'll try not to do that again.
Right.
Okay, cool. You hear me out. You see where I'm coming from. At least empathize. You're going to work on it versus just automatically putting a wall up.
And that's another piece of safety for me is, can I be vulnerable with you about you?
Emotional safety.
Emotional safety, exactly. Because most women are nurturers. Most women are more emotional beings. And if my emotions aren't safe with you, I don't feel safe in any way
At all.
Like it's hard for me to just let that guard down, because now I feel like, okay, I can't go to you about this. Put that guard up. Now I can't go to you about that either. I can't talk to you about issues I'm having with myself or issues that I'm having with you, because the first time I tried to do it, it was shut down.
Yep.
So you've already created. I didn't create the wall. You did.
Exactly.
To a certain extent.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. That's a major one. I feel like we learned that a little bit. We learned that a little bit too. I would say I learned that a little bit later on in life, but that is a huge red flag for me now. It's just, how do you address my concerns? Because if I don't have emotional safety, there's nothing else we can do.
Right.
Yeah, I have this conversation with because he's probably gonna be mad that I put this out there, but I love you. But he has a great wall up. This is my observation of him as a social worker. Is that he had his wall up. His mom passed when he was 8, and one thing that his parents did to kind of help him with those emotions, what his grandparents did was they bought them gifts whenever they cried. They bought them gifts. They bought them gifts. So, like, for me, like, you're the first greatest emotion you've ever felt in terms of sadness was the loss of your mother, and it was covered up by gifts. So whenever I express an issue to him, instead of talking about it, he will buy me gifts. I don't want the fucking gift.
I want to talk about it.
I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Give me the gift after.
I'm still gonna take it.
I'm still gonna take
But
it.
you're gonna be
But
pissed off
because we still gonna talk about it. But I think that goes to say, like, even with I wonder for men or people in general, when they don't know how to communicate through emotions. How did you experience your first greatest emotion? How was that for them? What was were you comforted when you experienced your first greatest emotion? Did someone talk to you, or were you immediately shut down? So now moving forward, you immediately shut down afterwards. But again, like you said, are you willing? What's your willingness to change?
Exactly.
Yes, what's your willingness to talk about it? Those would definitely be one of my initial questions is, what are your own red flags? What do you see that you still need to work on? And if you don't think you have anything to work on, that in itself is a red flag.
And you better not be like, what my red flag is?
I love too hard.
I love too hard. Exactly. I don't trust easy, but I'm going to trust you.
Yeah, I ain't never been in love before till you.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Well,
it was a pleasure having you with us here today.
Thank you, guys.
Anything you want to promote or put out there, or any final closeout?
I do. First, I have a ton more red flags. So we're going to have to do a part 2.
we got rolling credits.
But thank you guys for having me. I do want to let y'all know, like, my hashtag, I guess, on Instagram is Tiera7000. I am the co-manager of Message Store, MESIJ store.com.
Black-owned business.
I have Tiera Organics, 100% organic products. My mom has edible arrangements where she does, like, different dimensions of things. She's also the owner of Message Store.
Where's Mesh Store located?
It is online.
Okay, nice.
Where it's like sustainable apparel, eco-friendly things. We have a thrift shop on there. Yeah. So,
We'll add some links. We'll put some links on there.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, ladies. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Again, ladies, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Go subscribe on our YouTube. Follow all our handles. Make sure that you are following, sharing. Tell your auntie, grandma, everybody. Make sure you're following and sharing and subscriing. All right. And as you all know, this is not the podcast for tea. So wine me, please.
Click, please.
Surprise, we still got liquor left.
And don't forget, if you want our advice, send us an email to advice@winemepleasepodcast.com.